Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start our next match. The New York Warriors are taking on the Northeast Passage Wildcats blue team. Let's go over the lineups for both sides real quick. For Northeast Passage, currently on the floor, number 32, Ryan Coy. Also number 34, Keenan Weishadel. Number 2, Robbie Dutsitz. And number 22, Mike Wright. For the New York Warriors, currently on the floor, number 16, Armand Brunel. Also number 31, Matt Castelluccio. Number 18, Brian Amundsen. And we're waiting for the fourth person, but he's getting taped up right now. It looks like it's going to be George Casares. And I stand corrected. Coming out onto the floor is number 9, Joe Testaverde. So Amundsen and Coy are going to take the tip-off. Everybody's ready. Whistle blown, and we are underway here. Our second match of day 2 here at the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Testaverde for New York takes the ball, trying to make his way through the Wildcats defense. Dutsitz holds him in place, and it's taken away by Ryan Coy, who makes his way down the floor. Amundsen's going to try to stop him. Can he strip the ball in time? No, he can't, but he does stop Coy. Coy just trying to work his way through. He can't break himself free. He's close. And that is a 10-second violation on Northeast Passage. And his wheel popped. You can see his left wheel spinning. He was pushing and he couldn't make it through. So the trainers for the Wildcats are going to come out and swap out tires. It was a good opportunity for Northeast Passage to get on the board first, but a 10-second violation stopped that attack. So while we wait for just a moment, our championship game coming up in a little bit. Don't have any official results yet, but again, as I said in the prior broadcast, it will be a good match regardless of who's playing. So it's likely going to be Quebec in Montreal, but we will see to confirm that. And that ball swatted out of bounds. And the referees are going to call a jump ball because neither one of them could determine who last touched it. And obviously both sides are fighting for possession. No, it looks like now they've made a ruling. Officially, well, initially the referee said it was a jump ball, but now it is going to be a Wildcat ball with possession arrow pointing in their direction. So Mike Wright coming down the floor looking for Weishadel, but he just goes behind Amundsen, uses Weishadel as a screen, and the Wildcats on the board first. Brunel going to take that back the other way, and we are level at 1. Coy passes over to Weishadel. Can he get there in time? He does. And both teams opening up the scoring quickly here. Castelluccio for New York. Moving down the floor, the pass over to Brunel. And Brunel levels the match at 2 apiece. Pretty good flow to start this match for both sides. Each team finding their rhythm on offense fairly early here. Dutsitz now for the Wildcats. Castelluccio there, but the pass to Wright. Wright's going to try to catch it, and he does. Testaverde now with the ball for New York. Testaverde gonna make his way through untouched. We're tied at 3. Right, in a little bit of trouble, but a nice pass to Coy, who manages to gain control, and he passes over to Dudsitz. Testaverde trying to bump Dudsitz off balance, but he got the ball over to Coy. He slams into Castelluccio and Testaverde. Coy now trying to make his way around, and his pass blocked, but it lands in the lap of Dudsitz. Dudsitz now trying to pass over to right, but he dumps it off to Coy. Coy now looking for an option. And nice pass to Dudsitz, but he's stopped and hooked before crossing over the line. So Dudsitz tries to pass. The ball is stolen away. Brunel takes it away. Oh, and he loses the ball, and it's going to go out of bounds in favor of the Wildcats. Dudsitz now over to Coy. Coy just using that long reach of his to hold on to the ball to keep it away from Amundsen. Coy over to Dudsitz, who's got the ball, and that's going to be a point for the Wildcats. Castelluccio over to Testaverde. Testaverde making his way through right, trying to stop him. But nice block there by Castelluccio. He cut off right, and that freed Testaverde to score a point for New York. Dudsitz, the pass over to right. Can he get it? He does. Well received right, looking over to Weishadel. Keenan Weishadel. Brunel's going to get there, but not in time. Weishadel snags that one out the air and puts up point number 5 for the Wildcats. Brunel holds Castelluccio. Springing Brunel free. Nicely done. Good job by Amundsen as well. Dudsitz, the long pass over to Weishadel. Testaverde trying to defend. Castelluccio looking to join him. Weishadel close to going out of bounds, and that ball stripped away. Brunel going to pick it up for New York. Almost ran over the ball. And now New York, off the turnover, take the lead. It's 6-5. Coy gets slammed into by Testaverde, but he used that big body of his to stay upright. The pass over to Dudsitz. Testaverde racing over, takes the ball away from Dudsitz. Good defense by Joe Testaverde, and nicely done by Coy to take that ball away from Testaverde. And so now Northeast Passage gonna throw in. We have our first substitution of the match. Rob Serafine coming in place of Ryan Coy for the Wildcats. That ball tipped around Testaverde. Weishadel is going to get it, but he can't hold on to it. It's on the floor still, but he picks it up. He's got it now. Weishadel is very close to going over that center line. He needs to be careful. And we're going to get a timeout for the Wildcats. Good action so far to start this match. We're still in the first period, 3:44 to go. New York Warriors up 6-5. Still early goings here. We've got one more match coming up later on. That will be the championship match. And back here, Weishadel passes over to right. Nice catch. Testaverde now for the Warriors. And New York regains the lead. Right, can he catch it before it goes out? Yeah, he tried, but he couldn't quite get there in time. So New York will get the ball back, and they have an opportunity to increase their lead. Brunel trying to make his way through. Weishadel couldn't stop him, so now it's 8-6 New York. Wright has to call a timeout. He was trying to pass, but he didn't have any open teammates, so in order to retain possession, he had to call a timeout. So Serafine for the Wildcats is going to throw it in. 3 minutes left to go in the first period. New York Warriors 8, Northeast Passage Wildcats 6. Dude sits for the Wildcats. Finds a seam, he passes off to Weishadel, but he can't latch onto that one. Coy trying to strip the ball away. Brunel holding on tightly. In a costly turnover by the Wildcats. Dude sits trying to strip the ball away to atone for his mistake, but that pass goes to Testaverde for the Warriors, and now New York increase their lead to 3. Serafine gonna grab that ball. Let's see if he can catch it. Can he maintain control? He can. He's got it in his arm there. So he's got control. It's just not very tight. And now he's got it comfortably. But now he's surrounded by New York defenders in the pass. Off the front of Weishadel's chair. Not a good exchange between Coy and Weishadel. So New York will take the ball. That ball just kind of rolling down the sideline there. Brunel's going to pick it up. Oh, and he can't get to it. Weishadel also can't get to it. Weishadel, the last to touch. So New York will take the ball. 2 minutes left to go in the first period. If you're just joining us, thank you. Warriors currently up 9-6. Brunel trying to just push his way through. Finds his teammate, Matt Castelluccio. Point number 10 for the New York Warriors. Dudesit's trying to find a teammate. He's got 10 seconds. Weishadel's got the ball. Weishadel loses the ball. But New York, the last to touch it. So Serafine will throw in for the Wildcats. Ball in. Dudesits loses it. Weishadel's there for the Wildcats, though, to pick it up. Castelluccio strips it away, last off Dudesits. And now Robbie Dudesits picks it up and tries to pass the ball down the floor. Wildcats have to call another timeout. .135 left to go in this first period. Now we're ready to restart play. Mike Wright for Northeast Passage trying to outrun Castelluccio. He can't do it. But the pass to Coy, he managed to hold on, but then he loses it. Weishuttle picks it up, but he doesn't do it before it goes over the line. That's a few turnovers in a row for the Wildcats, and those mistakes have allowed New York to take the lead here. They're up by 4 right now, looking to go up by 5. And that is going to be a foul on Ryan Coy for an illegal use of hands. And you can see the frustration on his face as he heads towards the penalty area. So now we're going to play 4-on-3 for a few moments. Brian Amundsen passes over to Testaverde. Testaverde gets around Weishuttle. And New York now up by 5. Weishuttle, the pass over to Coy. Coy to Dudsitz. Dudsitz is going to tally a point for the Wildcats. Finally breaking that scoreless streak for them. (11-7) the score. Testaverde is going to bring that lead back up to 5 for New York. 40 seconds left to go in the first period. Oh, and that pass tipped by Brunel. Testaverde is going to pick it up for New York. 30 seconds to go. They can hold on to the ball. Let's see. Brunel stays in bounds. Weishuttle trying to get around Castelluccio to prevent Brunel from scoring. And now the Wildcats are just going to try to push Brunel over the line to force a point. Castelluccio. Oh, he loses the ball. Can Coy pick it up? Ryan Coy fighting for the ball. Dudsitz now. Coy, Castelluccio. Castelluccio, that ball under his pick guard, but now there's a fight for the ball. And a jump ball with 3.9 seconds to go. New York throwing in. You have about 4 seconds to score here. And Testaverde loses that ball, 0.9 seconds to go. And unless somebody can throw the ball the length of the floor, it looks like we're going to end this first period with New York in the lead, 12-7. Coy's going to take that ball, but again, we're going to go ahead and end this period. It is 12-7, New York over Northeast Passage. We're going to take a break. When we come back, period number 2. You're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again. We are about to start the second period here. It's the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. New York Warriors up 12-7 over the Northeast Passage Wildcats. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And Rob Serafine for the Wildcats. Taking the ball, getting a point for his team. The score now 12-8. And the Wildcats had some costly turnovers. Some of them were forced by New York with some good defense, and some of them were unforced errors. Castelluccio scoring for New York. So now it's 13-8. And it looks like Wright lost the ball. Castelluccio going to pick it up. Matt Castelluccio looking for a teammate to pass to. And he's just going to back out of there. Now Brunel offering a little relief to Castelluccio. Brunel just going to make his way through. Another point for New York. And Mike Wright going to call timeout. He was getting backed over that line, and if his wheels had crossed, that would have been a turnover. So Wright calls a timeout, trying to keep his team within striking distance. They're down by 6 right now. George Casares. And that ball tipped by Wright. Biscaya has to turn around and chase it down. And he calls timeout before he gets bumped over the line. So New York's going to take a throw in after the timeout. Brunel, the over-the-head pass to Biscaya. Leo Biscaya tallies another for New York. Wright could not pick it up. Serafine, can he catch it? It's just in front of him. He couldn't quite get there. So now Casares for New York. Brunel. Brunel lost the ball momentarily, but he kept it on his wheel. Coy almost stripped it away. Dutsits. Biscaya. And it looks like Wright pushed him over the line, but not before Biscaya called timeout. You can see the frustration in Wright's face. He was confident that he had caused a turnover, but Biscaya very aware of where he was. So now Casares for New York. Oh, and there's an errant pass. Brunel going back to chase it down. He's going to get there in time. Nobody from the Wildcats able to pressure him. And we're going to get a backcourt violation. Casares was on the other side of the line, and when he threw it back over, that was a backcourt violation. So the referees have given Northeast Passage the ball. Dudes, it's into Coy. Ryan Coy surrounded by New York defenders, and he is trapped. He's not going to be able to get out of there. He's going to have to do something soon. Coy looking for help here. He passes off to Seraphine. Nicely done. Just kind of reach between the two defenders there. And now Seraphine trying to work his way back around. Back to Coy, who managed to free himself. So now Ryan Coy, it's trying to carve a path for him to get through. The pass over to Weishadel. Nicely done. Northeast Passage still trailing by 4. Brunel looking for his teammate. Biscaya racing for the ball. He's going to catch it before it goes over the line. It's going to be close. The referee says he got it. So 17-12 our score right now. New York up comfortably by 5. That is a turnover, ladies and gentlemen. Seraphine crossed the line and then crossed back out. And New York is going to try to take advantage of this opportunity. And Brunel's just going to have to let that one roll out, because regardless of what happens, it's going to be a turnover. So about 5 minutes left to go in this first half. New York still up 17-12, but Northeast Passage now going to take the ball. Coy in a little bit of trouble. Coy pushes it out to Seraphine. Seraphine and Weishadel all alone, so they're going to just take it down the floor. But New York racing to put a little bit of pressure on. Casares under a little pressure, and another timeout called, this time by New York. So while they are in a timeout, coaches come out, talk to the New York players real quick. And Leo Biscaya going to throw it in for New York. We have a substitution on the floor. In for Matt Castelluccio, number 6, Darren Templeton. Biscaya loses the ball. Right, trying to pressure him. And Biscaya, right, fighting for the ball. And we're going to get a jump ball, possession arrow, pointing towards New York. The ball actually rolled up under Biscaya's chair, it looks like. And New York making another change. Darren Templeton back out, Castelluccio back in. Biscaya into Brunel, and Brunel just leaves it for Castelluccio. Will he catch it? And he does. So another point for New York. They're up by 5. 18-13, Seraphine, Castelluccio. Oh, and Castelluccio, good defense. Dude sits. Looking for one of his teammates. Nicely done by Weishadel. Reaching over 2 New York defenders. Weishadel now getting pushed further and further back by Casares and Brunel. Right, takes the ball. Right, gets trapped at these passes blocked by Casares. Dudes, it passes over to Weishadel, but Brunel takes it away. Armand Brunel trying to get down the floor. He's going to outrace Dudesitz. No, he's not. Nicely done to hook Brunel, but Leo Biscaya with the pass from Brunel scores another point for New York. 3:24 left to go in the half. New York 19, Northeast Passage 13. And that ball into Weishuttle. And Brunel just kind of flips it over to Biscaya. Leo Biscaya being defended by Wright and Weishuttle. Biscaya just rolls it over to Castelluccio, who passes to Brunel. Good teamwork there, nicely done. And Brunel will roll it in for point number 20. And Wright, a little over the head pass to Weishuttle. Back to Wright now, over to Dudesits. Robbie Dudesits is going to take the ball, and he's going to go in and keep Northeast Passage within 5. 2:35 left to go in the half. And that ball tipped by Weishuttle, but Biscaya manages to catch the ball. Nicely done. Good job by him. And he passes over to Casares. Wright and Weishuttle both try to throw Casares off balance, but they can't do it. And Casares scores for, I believe, is his first point of the match. Weishuttle trying to break free, head down the floor. Weishuttle almost got flipped over, but he passes to Serafine. Biscaya couldn't hold off Serafine from scoring. Castelluccio trying to get through to the other side. Time's running out. He passes the ball to Brunel, but he has to wait for it. Brunel does. Dudesits tried to disrupt, but couldn't quite do it. So Brunel just following Casares as he clears the path. New York now with 22. Dudesits almost ran out of time there. He has 10 seconds to get it back in play. And a nice pass from Wright to Weishuttle, who then passes to Serafine. Serafine, he's going to be able to catch the ball. He's not going to be able to get it. Some pretty good passing, but Serafine couldn't get to the ball in time. So we've got some substitutions going on here. Ryan Coy coming back into the match, taking the place of Keegan Weishuttle. Brunel into Castelluccio. Matt Castelluccio almost lost the ball. Serafine trying to disrupt. Leo Biscaya tips the ball to himself and scores another. New York up by 7. Ryan Coy, Mike Wright now with the ball. Serafine takes it, passes over to Dudesits, who's streaking down the floor. Dudesits, Biscaya. Biscaya couldn't stop him, and that is going to be a point for Northeast Passage. Castelluccio trying to get around Dudesits, who's trying to back into him to stop, but he couldn't do it. Brunel now with the ball. Right, trying to cut him off, but Brunel cuts behind him, and now they're just going to swerve past each other. Brunel gets around and scores another goal. 24-17. New York in the lead. 47 seconds remaining in this half. Ryan Coy for the Wildcats. Nice little turn by Coy. Castelluccio trapped by Dudesits. Passes out to Brunel. Wright tries to hold him off. Oh, nicely done by Wright. He knocks the ball away from Brunel, but he can't save the ball. New York will throw in again. 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Ducits almost got that one, and that is an over and back violation. So Northeast Passage looking to trim the lead down a little bit, bring it back within 5. And the throw in to Coy. Coy now over to Wright, and Wright. Oh, Wright almost loses the ball, but he manages to hold on. Castelluccio, lots of pressure. Ducits now for the Wildcats. Brunel and Biscaya. Lots of pressure from New York. Wright passes over to Serafine. Well executed play there by Northeast Passage. 0.7 seconds left to go. Again, very good defense by New York. Northeast Passage was able to pull it together and score a point. We're going to end this first half. New York in the lead. The score is 24-19. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the second half, you're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. the start of the second half here at the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. It is our second match of the day. One more on the way, but until then, the New York Warriors currently lead the Northeast Passage Wildcats 24-19. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson, and the Wildcats will be starting off the second half with possession. And Seraphine into Weishadel. Weishadel very close to that line, but he passes over to Dudsitz. Robbie Dudsitz, welcomed by Testaverde, and that ball taken away by Brunel. And Dudsitz is going to get called for a foul, illegal use of hands. So 15 seconds into the second half, the Wildcats are going to be playing shorthanded. Brunel takes the ball for the Warriors. And he's going to score the first point of this second half. Coy with the ball over to Dudsitz. Robbie Dudsitz now for the Wildcats. Point number 24, Northeast Passage. Brunel taking the ball down the floor. Weishadel stops him. Templeton trying to help clear some space. Coy is there for the Wildcats. The pass to Testaverde. Testaverde almost touched that cone. And that was no goal by Testaverde. The referee says that Testaverde went out of bounds, so that is a turnover. Coy loses the ball, a little too much pace. Coy racing for it, but if he catches it, it's probably going to be a backcourt violation. But it went out of play. It is white ball. New York with the throw in. Brunel going to bring the lead back up to 6-4 New York. (26-20) to the score right now. Ryan Coy loses the ball, but he gets it back. And that is an illegal use of hands violation. And referee says you can't throw your hands out in the air like that. Is Coy going to the penalty area? No, it doesn't look like it, but the referee has ruled that it is a turnover. Coy trying to reach in to strip the ball away, but Brunel just working his way through the Wildcat defense. Well done, 27-20 the score. And Testaverde and Evanson collide. Teammates, one almost got flipped over, and Coy rolls it over the line for the Wildcats. Testaverde racing. Seraphine's not going to get there in time. Testaverde scores for the Warriors. 28-21 our score. New York up by 7. Wildcats trying to trim that lead down a little bit. Weishadel passes over to Dudsitz. Robbie Dudsitz scores number 22 for the Wildcats. 5:51 remaining in this third period. Again, you're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage with ParaSportsLive. Thank you all for watching. And Brunel calls a timeout. So we're going to take a quick moment while we have a chance. Number 21 for the New York Warriors, Damon Rozier, passed away back on September 26th. So that jersey on the wall hangs in his honor. The Warriors almost did not come to this tournament this weekend because of his untimely death, but they managed to regroup and gather themselves together and play for him. So they are out here this weekend playing for Damon, who was the captain of this team for the 20 years that he played. So rest in peace, Mr. Rozier. Hopefully your team is doing you proud today. Ryan Coy for Northeast Passage. Passes to Seraphine. Seraphine over to right. Right. Streaking towards the goal area and scores another point for Northeast Passage. 28-23 the score. Brunel takes the ball. Warriors still up by 6. Dudsitz for the Wildcats. Passes over to right, and not a good pass. And that is going to be a turnover. Testaverde is going to pick it up for the Warriors. Joe Testaverde now for New York. Passes to Brunel, who's going to take it in for number 30, New York Warriors, increasing their lead to 7. Right. Taking the ball up the floor. Passes to Seraphine. Seraphine's not going to catch it. Dudsitz cuts off Testaverde. Seraphine's not going to catch that ball. And another turnover for Northeast Passage. They've been absolutely costly for them today. New York now with an opportunity to increase their lead to 8. The pass from Testaverde to Brunel, Armand Brunel, taking it over the line. New York Warriors now with 31. Coy. Over to right. (31-24) the score. Just under 4 minutes left to go in this third period. Testaverde just fights his way through that Wildcat defense. And Amundsen just bashes into Coy to ensure that his teammate's going to score. Dudesits makes the pass to Coy, and Coy almost went out. And now Wright going to chase that ball. Will he get there before it goes out? No, he won't. And now Coy is going to come out of the match, taking his place once again. Number 34, Keenan Weishutl. Testaverde passes to Brunel. Brunel loses the ball. Weishutl picks it up, but that goes off his chair. So we're going to get mass substitutions for New York. Castelluccio, Casares, and Biscaya all back into the match. Castelluccio takes the ball. Held by Serafine for just a moment. Castelluccio lost where he was on the court and went over the center line. That is a backcourt violation, and Northeast Passage will take over. Serafine over to Wright. Wright now trying to bring the ball back up the floor. There he goes in for a point, just getting around the Warriors defenders. Number 25 for Northeast Passage. And there's a forced turnover by the Wildcats. They have an opportunity to bring the game back to within 6. New York had really extended that lead for a while. Dudesits gets the point for the Wildcats. 32-26 now. The New York lead at 6. Casares for New York. Scores 33-26 now. Weishutl tries to get past Castelluccio and Brunel, but he can't do it. And Biscaya picks that ball off for New York. Nicely done. Brunel gets around Weishutl, tries to get around Dudesits. And now Armand Brunel scoring another point for New York. And it looks like Wright is going to have to come off the floor. He may have injured himself a little bit. Not quite sure. We'll keep an eye on him. But Ryan Coy is going to come back in his place. Now it looks like Wright is just getting something adjusted on the back of his chair. So as we rejoin the action here, Ryan Coy is going to take the ball on the floor. Biscaya racing to stop him. Nicely done, Leo Biscaya. And no goal as Coy crashes into the cone. And again, in order for a point to count, you cannot touch the cones. You have to go cleanly over the line with at least 2 wheels. Serafine tips the ball to Dudesits, a turnover for the Wildcats. And the pass to Weishutl. Keenan Weishutl scores for Northeast Passage, 34-27. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the third period. New York Warriors up 34-27 once again. Leo Biscaya throwing in for New York. And Brunel loses the ball, but he regains control. And the possession arrow pointing toward New York. Castelluccio Now racing down the floor. He's going to get through cleanly. Good job by Cazares to block off Dudsits. And Castelluccio is just going to hold on to the ball for a moment, run some of the clock down. We are at 1:35 here, remaining in the third period. Coy takes the ball. Coy, the pass to Dudsits. Robbie Dudsits. He got tripped up by Castelluccio for a moment, but he recovered and managed to grab the ball. (35-28) the score at the moment, but Brunel looking to bring that lead back up. Brunel gets stopped by Coy. Brunel trying to work his way through, gets slowed up. Castelluccio for New York holds the ball for a moment and then goes over the line. Coy into Weishadel. Weishadel stopped by Biscaya. Weishadel thought about passing, but has to hold on to it. Now he's being pressured by Biscaya and Brunel, but Serafine springs him loose. Weishadel stopped, has no one to pass to. Coy not there and available to pass, so Weishadel just has to hold on to the ball. 30 seconds left to go, and Brunel strips it away. Armand Brunel. Brunel passes over to Cazares. Castelluccio picks up the loose ball. Matt Castelluccio for New York. He's going to score another for the Warriors. And they're going to hold on to the ball. 11 seconds, 10 seconds left. Castelluccio holding on. Castelluccio. We're going to get a foul on Keenan Weishadel for leaving the floor. There's only 5 seconds left to go in the third period. Cazares over to Brunel. 3 seconds left to score. And it doesn't look like he's going to get there. So we're going to end the third period. The score is 36-28 in favor of the New York Warriors. When we come back, the final 8 minutes of this match. You are watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in just a few moments. It is the start of the fourth here in this match between the New York Warriors and the Northeast Passage Wildcats. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. New York leading 36-28, and they now have an opportunity to increase that lead as Northeast Passage has turned over the ball. This has been a problem for Northeast Passage, both teams really, throughout this competition. Other teams have been able to force them into turnovers and take advantage of those turnover opportunities. Wildcats, blue and white, really struggling to find their offensive rhythm during the weekend. And Castelluccio just kind of holding on to the ball for a moment. He's going to open the scoring here in this fourth and final frame. It's 37-28, New York on top at the moment. Right, the long pass, Weishutl to Dutzitz. Dutzitz has to pull back as he's stopped by New York. Weishutl. Kenan Weishutl trying to work his way around the New York defenders. Nice hit by Amundsen. Castelluccio stopping Weishutl. Time running down for the Wildcats. There is no shot clock here on this court, but I have to imagine that 40 seconds is almost up. Mike Wright is going to try to score for the Wildcats. Let's see if he finds success. Serafine blocks off Biscaya. Nicely done. Excuse me, that was actually Joe Testaverde that was blocked off. So Castelluccio now for the Warriors. And he's going to make it through for point number 30. So let's see if he scores. Serafine trying to hold him off. But Castelluccio makes it 38-29 in favor of New York. Weishutl almost loses that one. Now Testaverde defending, and that ball off the head of Castelluccio, and George Casares gets pushed over the line. He just kind of lost where he was for just a moment. And so a turnover. Northeast Passage will throw in. Ryan Coy coming back into the match for Mike Wright. Robbie Dutzitz will throw in. Weishutl takes the ball from Coy. Weishutl, the pass. Coy can't latch onto it, but he manages to regain control. Testaverde slams into Coy. Weishutl now. Nice catch from Coy. Reaching over Matt Castelluccio makes it 38-30. Warriors still in the lead. And Casares loses the ball, but Testaverde's there to pick it up for him. Testaverde, the pass over to Amundsen. Dutzitz and Serafine combined to defend. And that ball turned over. Dutzitz takes it away. Coy passing over to Weishutl. Weishutl turns around and gets slammed into by Casares, who was dispossessed for a moment, but Weishutl picks it back up. Coy now passing over to Dutzitz, who will score for Northeast Passage. Some good contact out there between these two sides. And Testaverde will take it down the floor. And they're firmly in control right now, so there's not a real need to hurry and score. They're up by 7. 4:40 left to go in this match. Weishadel just trying to expedite the process a little bit. And that ball turned over, but Testaverde can't hold on to it. Weishadel pushes Testaverde over the ball. Good move by Weishadel to prevent Testaverde from taking the ball. Good hard play there. Armand Brunel coming back into the match for New York, as well as Darren Templeton coming off Testaverde and Castelluccio. For the Wildcats, Weishadel coming off. Mike Wright coming on in his place. And Amundsen for New York will throw in to Brunel. And Brunel loses the ball. Ducitz is just going to let that one roll out as the Wildcats will take possession. 4:26 left to go in the match. Cazares going to throw in to Amundsen. Brunel has to hold up for a moment. Brunel just kind of working his way around. Brunel, point number 40 in favor of New York. Coy, pressured by New York, and then the pass to Ducitz. Ducitz out racing Cazares. 3:50 left to go. New York Warriors up 40-32. Testaverde now. The ball to Brunel. Brunel's not going to get to that, but it was off a Wildcat player. Excuse me, off of a New York player. Let's see here. Seems to be a little confusion. It was off of a Wildcat player. A little bit of confusion all the way around, but now we have everything sorted out. Amundsen pops the ball in, but that went to no one. And now it will indeed be Wildcats' ball. Coy puts up number 33 for the Wildcats. New York still firmly in control here, up by 7 with 3:35 left to go in the match. Amundsen gets bumped by Wright, and Amundsen calls a timeout. It looks like that was a violation on New York for either 10 seconds or 12 seconds. Not quite sure what it was, but either way, Northeast Passage is going to score a point. And they brought the lead down to 6. 40-34 the score. 3:20 left to go in the match. Cazares now for New York. The pass out to Brunel. Dudesitz tries to catch up to Brunel, and he does. He's going to try to hook Brunel, but he can't hold on to him. 41-34 the score. Right. Score another for the Wildcats. (35-41), 2:53 left to go. And that is a 1 meter violation. So Northeast Passage is going to get the ball. And Keenan Weishutl is going to come back into the match. And it looks like Robbie Dudesitz is coming out. And New York also going to make a couple substitutions. Brunel, Casares, Amundsen. Let's see, are they all coming out or are they just gathering around? They're just gathering around to get their strategy together here. They're up by 6 with 2:51 left to go. There's still time for Northeast Passage to make it uncomfortable for New York, but as long as New York keeps it relatively mistake-free, they will probably come away with the win. But coach not taking any chances here, trying to get his players back into the right mindset. So while we have a break again, I want to remind you that the championship match will be coming on in just a little bit. We're scheduled for a 1 p.m. tip-off. We'll see if we make it on time. But regardless of whenever they tip off, we will bring you the coverage. So be sure to stay tuned. That ball popped in, and Casares does well. It's going to be white ball. And the referee blew an inadvertent whistle there. It is going to be a turnover for New York. Casares now for New York, trying to get around the Wildcat defense. He still has the ball, and he's going to break free and move down the floor. Now Serafine trying to intercept that ball, and that is a 12-second violation on New York. So the Wildcats will get the ball once again. Ryan Coy. Coy very close to the center line. Robbie Dudesitz doing well to help pave the way for Coy. And now Coy stops short of the line. Can he push his way through? Brunel stops him. Weishutl makes it through. 41-36 the score. 2 minutes left to go. New York up by 5. Brunel tripped up by Serafine. Amundsen takes the pass. And Dudesitz just kind of rams into Amundsen. And now lots of pressure by the Wildcats. Amundsen passes over to Brunel. Weishutl almost takes it away. They're just trying to kill the clock out now. Armand Brunel for the Warriors, just holding on to the ball. They can really just kind of drain the clock at this point and minimize the Northeast Passage opportunities to score. Brunel working his way around. Oh, and Casares almost lost that handoff from Brunel. Dude sits. Weishel trying to push Casares away. 40 seconds. Has to be winding down here. And that is a 10-second violation on Brunel. So good defense by the Wildcats. 1:02 left to go in the match. They're down by 5. Weishel trying to work his way up the floor. I don't know if a minute is going to be enough to make up the difference here. Now they're down by 4 with 56 seconds left. Stranger things have happened, ladies and gentlemen, but they're going to have to force some turnovers, and they're going to have to do it right now. Brunel loses the ball, and there's a turnover for the Wildcats. 53 seconds to go. They're down by 4. Serafine passes it in, and that was not what Rob Serafine was looking for. The Wildcats had an opportunity to bring the lead down to 3, and Serafine, with a bad inbound pass, turns it back over to New York. And Serafine hits the ball out. Still New York ball. That ball passed in, and Keenan Weishel takes it away. And now Ryan Coy brings the lead back to within 3. Good defense by the Wildcats. 45 seconds still left to go. Time winding down, though. If Casares scores here, you have to think that it might be over for Northeast Passage, and he does, but he's not gonna hold up. He's just gonna go ahead and run it in. 42-38, 32 seconds left. Weishel trying to break through. The pass out to Coy. Ryan Coy makes it 42-39, 19 seconds to go. And dudes, it's taken away by the Wildcats. Coy makes it 42-40, and things have certainly gotten a little uncomfortable for New York. 14 seconds to go. The Wildcats are going to have to force a turnover. That ball popped into the air. Brunel, with the tips of his fingers, manages to snag the ball. 11 seconds to go. There's 1.9 seconds left. And I believe the possession arrow is going to point in favor of New York. My goodness. The Wildcats have certainly made a game of it. There are only 2 seconds left to go in the match. And New York is going to have possession. Casares looking to throw in. Amundsen calling for it. Coy has the ball, but not enough time to move down the floor. And the New York Warriors are going to come away victorious in this match, 42-40. The Wildcats, again, they were down by quite a deficit for a while, but they managed to make a game of it. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, the championship match. You are watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in a little bit.